every person who's not there yet. I'm playing Lucky Block Scary Edition. I've never played it before. I don't know what to expect, but I read the description. It said it's fairly hard and that I should play with friends. But I have no friends, so I'm playing alone. I'm just getting ready to... I'm just going to start it up and see what happens. I'm probably going to die a lot. And hopefully not be too scared. Because I'm a tremendous pussy. We'll see what happens. Right. Bear with me a moment. It always takes me a little while to get used to playing in VR again. I don't know what exactly I'm doing. Oh, well, this is majestic. I feel like there's going to be a lot of things that don't do anything. Where are these so-called lucky blocks then? Look at these chairs that are made out of doors. Don't be making scary noises at me, please. I do not desire them. Well, I mean, I won't go hungry. There seems to be cake everywhere. Well, I can't remember how to eat it. So, yeah, I'm currently just exploring this place because there's skeletons there. Carrots. Never thought about doing that. But I'm by no means a Minecraft pro. Go away. Stop slowing me down. Boredom, mostly. Nobody watches, so I thought I might as well. If I can get my average views up, I'm more than happy to be a complete shill and just self-promote wherever possible. This place is weird. Huh, well. I don't even know how to spell that. Follow my YouTube channel, and then I'll follow you back, because that's the only way I'm going to find it. So yeah, appears to be the world. There are apparently lucky blocks that I can make that will, I think they're a bit like chance cubes essentially, but I don't know how or what I'm doing. Oh, hello, Piggy. This is a locked door. I'll have to wait until I've finished streaming to follow you on YouTube, because obviously VR headset makes it a bit of a challenge. Look at my phone. God, all of that. Yeah, I'm playing on the PlayStation VR. I could never really get into playing Minecraft. I'd play it for like a few hours, but I'd always get just bored quite quickly. But playing it in VR is really cool. It's well, except for when that happens. When that happens, it's horrible. But it's way more 3D than most 3D VR games I've played, and so it's kind of weirdly horrifically scary. Because I mean, these things are 6 foot tall. They're huge, and they sneak up on you, explode, and do all sorts of horrific things. And standing on the edge of the cliff makes you feel like your stomach's going to fall out of your asshole. It's it's genuinely quite unnerving. So yeah, it just makes it. See, when I was in primary school, there was no such thing as Minecraft. Because I'm an old fuck. This isn't the only thing I've downloaded. I did also download another one called Cursed Moon. That I don't know if it's I don't know if it's adds new mobs or something, or if it only happens on full moons. But it basically makes it so that all mobs are dangerous. Ah, okay. Well, you know what I mean, because like all the animals, they're not all dangerous. But the pigs and the cows and the chickens become dangerous at night time. But this one, there's supposed to be these things, these lucky boxes, lucky cube things, and I don't know. It doesn't give you instructions on where they are or how to find them or how to make them. Oh, well, that's saved me a lot of time. I got dirt. Nice. That's disappointing. Oh fuck. I'm floating away. That's not nice. I don't like it. I'm going to die when I land. My only way of surviving, potentially, is... I didn't want to fall in VR. That would have made me feel so sick. And there's a fucking creeper come in and I'm in fire. Oh, Jesus. Thank God it rained. That was lucky. Come on. I guess... I mean, the first time I played Minecraft, it was back before it was even released, when it was still on Java, and it was still in beta, and but I never really played it for that long. I've only been playing Minecraft properly, if you can even say that I've done that, for a couple of weeks. Again, it's not one of those games that I really got into, but since started playing it in VR, it's definitely a lot more entertaining than I used to find it. But I also have a really short attention span, so I get sidetracked very quickly. So playing vanilla Minecraft is like watching a child with ADHD trying to focus on one thing. I'd be in the middle of trying to make a potion stand or whatever the fucking called, and I don't have the tits for it. I mean, I've got a nice set of tits, but I don't have the right size ones for. See, I panicked and pressed the wrong button. Now I'll. I don't have that money to be spending on push-up bras. I've barely got the money to buy clothes. That's not an investment I'm willing to make. What the fuck is this thing? I'd rather spend my money on better equipment and new games. I just pre-ordered Watch Dogs Legion, which I will be playing when it arrives. Obviously, games are fucking expensive now, and so I have to pick and choose what ones I'm going to buy. And they generally are an investment. I'm probably going to die, but let's see. Yeah. Yeah, can't really do that if you want to stream them though. Like, there's very few games that anybody will watch you play 5 years after it comes out. Um, I mean, there's very few games that people will watch me play in general, but the playing the newer games definitely opens up more opportunities. I played through Mafia Definitive Edition, which was okay. It wasn't terrible. Pumpkin seeds. What a load of shit. Stop giving me dirt. Iron Blade. Oh. Fuck off, skeletons. Yeah. We're in that weird part of time where we're between console generations, so everything's a bit up in the air. Because I have a strong feeling that the Watch Dogs Legion on the PlayStation 4 is going to run like a pile of shit and not look very good. Because they're kind of expecting everybody to wait until the PS5 or Xbox Series X versions come out. And I feel the same about most of the games. I'm really... Well, I mean, the good thing about a PlayStation 5 coming out is that the PlayStation 4s will be a lot cheaper, so you'll be able to get one. But, yeah, I'm somewhat nervous about Cyberpunk. I'm excited for it, but I'm also very nervous that it's going to be a pile of shit on current consoles. All of the footage that they've shown has been from max spec PC versions, which, you know, makes sense. Shut up. But at the same time, I think... Oh no, no, fuck off, no. Don't make me float. I'm going to have to just hover above this and hope that... What? Well, I mean, until I started playing it a couple of weeks ago, I hadn't played it in years. I've watched a lot of people play it, but I've never actually played it on the PlayStation, really, anyway. But I mean, in VR, this looks fucking awesome. It's very, very clear to me that I'm very high up. Boredom. And I got out of the habit of playing video games, but I hadn't played video games in about 6 or 7 months, or maybe longer. Ooh, I got candy. So I started playing it again, and it seemed like streaming it made it more fun. Oh, I had a bit of like a mental breakdown at the end of last year. And I couldn't I couldn't even watch television. I couldn't listen to music. I couldn't do anything that was even slightly stressful without having a panic attack or crying or anything slightly like that. So yeah, it sucks ass, as I'm sure you're very much aware. So I just kind of I had to just kind of restart and rebuild my brain. What the fuck is that? A haunted horse? I've got a haunted horse. Well, I was not expecting a haunted horse. So yeah, I kind of had to rebuild my brain, which took about 9 months. This horse can jump high. So now I'm pretty much back to, yeah, no, that's exactly what it was like. It was like my my fear and my emotions had been reset to like it was when I was a baby. So like things that I used to love, like fireworks. If fireworks went off, I'd be shaking and, you know, my heart would be racing and I'd basically be having a panic attack. And if, you know, if there was thunder or lightning, I love thunder and lightning. I used to sit outside in storms and watch the thunder and lightning. But if there was a thunderstrike, a bolt or anything happen, I'd freak out. And again, it was like everything had been. It was like a reset on my brain. I was suddenly afraid of everything again, and everything made me sad. Or everything made me cry. Even if I wasn't sad, it'd make me cry. So I had to start trying to re-desensitize. Oh, fuck's sake. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I do take meds, and I honestly don't know if they helped or if they are part of the problem. My brain doesn't work nearly as well as it used to. I feel like I've got a lot more stupid, and I can't speak, and I trip over my own words all the time, and it sounds like I'm constantly losing my voice because the anxiety squeezes my vocal cords, and I sound like this. I sound squeaky and like I'm going through puberty. And I never had that before I started taking the meds. So I don't know if it's the meds that caused it or if that was just a side effect. And the only reason that I'm getting better now is because the meds are working, or if I'm just getting used to the side effects. But at this time, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic and everything's fucking crazy. And it's also winter now. It's getting towards winter. And winter has never really been good for my mental health. So I think I'll stick with them for now, and then try and get weaned off them slowly. The beginning of spring, and towards the summer. Because I feel like I've lost half my brain. I just feel stupid, and it's really annoying. And yeah, I mean, it sucks balls. So, oh, an iron shovel. How nice. Is that another haunted horse, but a tiny one? Cobblestone. Do you mind? Ooh. 5 ghasts is too many ghasts. Press the wrong button. It's all going wrong. You killed my haunted horse, you bastards. So yeah, I'm not sure if I feel like I've been ripped off, to be honest. Oh, for fuck's sake. Try and get in the tree, get in the tree. I'm floating through the trees. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this could be interesting, but I don't know if it is. But yeah, I just thought, fuck it. Also, I live on my own, and I work mostly on my own. I spend most of my time on my own. It's nice to just have people to talk to. Without sounding too depressing. Will you fuck off, you slimy bastard? I kind of, yes. But, I mean, everybody's not doing social things because of COVID. And, I mean, I'm an adult. And adults have their own lives, so it's not really surprising that a lot of adults feel alone most of the time, because it makes sense. People have got their own shit going on. They're too busy with their own things. Does this move? If this moves, I might pee my pants. Well, I think everybody does nowadays. That's the thing. It's ingrained in us, in people now, as it's part of the culture to distrust everybody around you, and to try and isolate yourself to stop yourself from getting hurt, and to be fairly But that's the thing. I mean, I spend a lot of my time alone, and I used to have little social things that I'd go to once a month. But obviously, that all stopped when COVID happened. But I also wasn't in any place mentally to be able to go to any social events. So it didn't really make much difference. But it would be nice to hang out with some people. It really would. But nobody's doing that kind of thing anymore, or at least at the moment. And most of them aren't gonna. I'd say that a lot of my friends, and I think this is the same with most adults, they're friends, but you can't really class them as friends. They're people who you occasionally do things with. If you're lucky, they might call you occasionally. But yeah, that's just life, at least for me, for me anyway. I don't know if it's the same for everybody. I feel like it is for most people. Nah, to be honest, I've been like it for years, and I think I've been like this since I was 17, 18. Never really had any proper close friends. So now it's kind of weird for me when people who I was friends with when I was in, like secondary school, when they make contact and they want to hang out, and we don't live in the same city anymore, but if I'm in town, they will always message me and say, "Hey, can you come hang out?" Those are the kind of, they're the real friendships, but they don't show up very often. People, if they want to see you, will make the effort. But I'm not saying that if they don't make the effort, they're not real friends. It just means that they've got their own stuff going on, and you kind of have to just kind of accept it. But at the same time, you shouldn't not make plans, if that makes sense. Like, if just because they've not called you to see if you want to do something doesn't mean they don't want to do something. It just might be that they're wrapped up in their own worlds the same way that everybody else is. And they will. It's a hard thing to not get that kind of FOMO when you hear that somebody else has done something without you. The problem is, chances are they've done something without you because they came up with the idea and, invited or asked somebody. Just because they forgot to ask you doesn't mean that they're not your friend. It just means that it didn't come to mind. If you want to do something, then do something. Do it on your own if you have to, if you want to. Or, invite somebody. If they want to come along, they'll come along. But people aren't just going to think about you without you making an effort, if that makes sense. In the least harsh way that's physically possible for me to say it, is you have to make an effort to be seen. Otherwise, people get stuck inside their own worlds and forget. But I mean, not only do I stream on here, but during lockdown, I was taking myself on walks in the countryside, I was streaming them on Reddit, and they were very, 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 very popular, insanely popular, which is why I've got like 80 odd followers on Reddit currently, because I was walking around the city and talking to people on the stream, and talking about the city that I live in, and showing them like a tour guide would do, or walking in the countryside and showing them the sights and the sounds of the British countryside, which I think a lot of American people really enjoy, seeing the British countryside. And on my YouTube channel, I actually have a video that I recorded because I couldn't live stream it because the place in the countryside where I was is so rural that there's no 4G, so I had to film it. I made the mistake of filming it in oh, that made me feel sick. Yeah, I'm Dan South, as they would say. But yeah, they fucking love the countryside. The Americans, specific. Oh, that sucks. Um. Oh, I got pet dog. Hello, doggy. Hello, doggy. What kind of dog is that? It looks a bit special. Oh, it's a hot dog. Oh, I see. Oh no. No, 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 no. No, no. No, 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 no. You can just stay over there. Oh, he killed my dog. You fucking cunt. But yeah, I mean, part of the rebuilding of my brain was going on walks in the countryside and forcing myself to leave the house, and to put up with the sounds and sights of the world and being alone in the middle of nowhere. That can give you a lot of anxiety, a lot more than you expect. When you're in the middle of the countryside, but you're not entirely alone, because obviously there's always going to be people walking in the countryside, but there's not as many as you'd think. So if your phone runs out of battery and you've got a really poor sense of direction, you can get lost quite easily. But when it comes to anxiety, yeah, most are quite nice. Most people are quite nice, and most areas are quite nice. But I mean, when it comes to anxiety, I don't believe in sheltering yourself away from the things that make you anxious. It makes no sense to me. It seems stupid. That's some doctors recommend it. They have the whole like trigger warning type thing, where if oh, I don't like loud noises. Yeah, exactly. Exposure therapy is what I'm talking about, and it works, but it's uncomfortable. You have to face it. Um, there are some things now that still freak me out, and I'm still trying to get over it. The medication they put me on made me gain loads of weight, which means that I get out of breath very quickly. And getting out of breath walking up a hill, wearing a mask, it just makes it worse having to wear a mask. But I'd rather wear a mask and be temporarily unable to breathe than get COVID and potentially die because I can't breathe. So it's... I mean, I spent all of last year trying to lose weight, and I lost about 2.5 stone. And then they put me on this medication, and I put it all back on in a month. And now I'm trying to lose it again, but I can't exercise because of my anxiety. If my heart rate goes above 90 beats a minute, I basically have an anxiety attack, which makes jogging impossible. It makes any kind of strenuous exercise impossible. And yeah, it sucks balls. But I want to do it. I want to try and start running and things, but I'm scared to do it alone, because if I have a full-blown panic attack and I'm on my own in the middle of the park, for example, that means I'm quite far from my home and more likely to freak out more. But I mean, I'll I'll get there eventually. it's hard to go outside and exercise when you don't feel like it's a safe idea to go outside and exercise. If I could if I could exercise at home, then I would, but I don't have the space for any equipment or the money to buy the equipment or anything like that. That said, I could buy Beat Saber. Well, I mean, I was going on walks, but now I'm back at work, so I don't really have the choice. I don't really have the option to go on the walks. I only have one day off a week, so it's a bit shit. But yeah. Yeah, not necessarily, but if I'm, because of my medication, it's not only does it make you gain weight, but it's also a sedative. If I don't get a decent night's sleep, I can't function the next day because of my anxiety, and I have to get up fairly early for work. So by about 2 o'clock, I'm exhausted. I've just noticed that I'm just talking rubbish and not doing anything. I might switch to the other game, the other Minecraft game, just because I think it might be a bit more fun. But yeah, I mean, if I could. Also, the weather's not so nice now. Like, it rains most of the time. And I mean, last time when my anxiety was bad, I went for a walk. This was just after my breakdown, and I decided to try and force myself to go for a walk. Turns out because of COVID, they struck most of the buses, so there was only one bus there and one bus back. So I was terrified that I was going to miss the bus back, because otherwise I'd have been stuck in the middle of nowhere. But it had also been very wet, and the area, it's a very, very, very steep, muddy slope that I wasn't wearing walking shoes, I was wearing trainers, so it was too slippery for me to walk down. I live in Sussex, but it was too. In Brighton, but like the countryside outside Brighton is all the Sussex Downs, and some of them are very steep and muddy. And it felt like it was so steep that if I slipped, I'd slide all the way down to the bottom. And if you've ever seen any pictures of a place called Devil's Dyke, which is where I was, it's when people are stood at the bottom of Devil's Dyke and you're stood at the top, they look like ants. And the only way to get back up is to climb the very steep hill, which in the mud and the wrong shoes was just a little bit too anxiety inducing for me. So I ended up like hobbling my way back to the bus stop. And then I had a panic attack while I was there and had to wait there was a pub nearby, and had to wait in the pub on the phone with my mother to calm me down. And eventually, I had some of my emergency medication in my pocket as well, so I had to take one of those and wait for it to kick in. And then finally the bus came and I was able to get home, and it was the end of that unfortunate adventure. I have since then been back to that area on numerous occasions, and that walk, the video of me doing my walk at Devil's Dyke on YouTube, is the next time that I went there, and that was in the middle of the summer. And it was much nicer, and I was a lot less scared. But as you can hear, because I've got so fat, I was just basically out of breath the entire time, and it was very hot and sweaty. But it was worth it. It's one of my favourite places to go. It's just getting there at the moment's not easily because they have stopped most of the buses because they're tourist buses and there's no tourists. I talk a lot. I talk endlessly. I could talk for the country competitively. I mean, at the moment, I used to. In VR, it's not scary except when a creeper sneaks up behind you and you're not expecting it. That's basically the only time I get scared when I'm playing Minecraft in VR. Fuck off. But no, I used to. It used to really make me tense playing Minecraft at night. But also at the moment, I'm playing the game with no purpose. I'm just walking around and shooting at things and talking. I'm not actually doing anything constructive. So it doesn't really matter. If I die, I'll just respawn at the bed. So it doesn't really matter. Whereas if I was playing survival, it would be somewhat more tense. Yeah, I'm going to switch. I'm going to quit this and try the other one. The other game mode that I've downloaded. The cursed... What is it? Cursed... Not when I'm doing things unconstructively because I don't really know what I'm doing. So it doesn't really matter. I can't be constructive if I don't know what I'm doing. Cursed Moon, that's the one. If I was playing it properly, then I'd be somewhat more anxious about it. Bear with me a moment, I've got to change the stream things. Bear with me a moment. I think that's done it. We'll find out. I don't know what this does, this game mode, so we shall see. It's an adventure. But yeah, I'll try and play this in a more of a survival-y type mode way now, because I was just walking around and talking nonsense mostly. I do have a survival level, a survival save that I play with some friends, which I could switch into if the mood takes me. Yeah, it's my friend Saf and her boyfriend, and sometimes his sister. Um, we play Minecraft together. Um, because my friend Saf streams as well. So it's always more fun to play a game with people when you're streaming. Oops. Her stream name is Saf's Awesome with a double F on Saf. Saf's Awesome. She generally plays. Well, I don't know. She chops and changes all the time. Well, I mean, I very rarely have people to play video games with. It's only since I started streaming that I've started playing games with Saf. I've been friends with her for a couple of years, and we've never played games with each other before. I feel like these game modes, I really want like a sky block. Ooh, that looks creepy. Does it just give them green eyes? Is that all it does? Um, I'd like there to be a sky block on PlayStation Minecraft, but I had a look and I couldn't find one. There's obviously ones on PC, but I don't have this on PC. And if I did have this on PC, I wouldn't be able to stream it because my laptop's a piece of shit. I tried to stream Among Us with them the other day, and my laptop couldn't handle playing Among Us and streaming at the same time. Look at all that wheat. That's a lot of wheat. I'm going to make all the bread. I don't know, are you a girl? Then, if you're old enough, do what you like. I mean, it's your life. I know a bunch of girls that have become cam girls, or at least tried it, or had OnlyFans accounts and things like that. Oh, I wondered why that fucking sheep was running at me, and it was because I'm holding wheat. Yeah, I mean, if you're old enough to do it, if a guy did OnlyFans, to be honest, doing OnlyFans as a girl isn't even super popular anymore. Oh no, there are definitely a bunch of guys on OnlyFans, and cammers, and there are a bunch of girls as well. It's honestly, it's a bit like streaming on Twitch nowadays. There's so many people that it's not really worth doing. The chances of you becoming popular enough to make any kind of money doing it is very slim unless you have a niche, and you've got to be pretty damn niche nowadays for anyone to pay any attention. Well, don't send them to me, because I ain't into it. Feet are not the one. Why is the floor makes a weird noise? Yeah, basically, you can't make money doing anything like that nowadays. It's pointless doing anything. You've actually got to work hard for money now. I'm somewhat nervous about what's going to happen when the sun goes down. I mean, they do, but I don't know if masturbating can be classed as work. Personally, I don't want to. Don't want to like shame anybody here, but it's. It's effort, but so is everything else. Like, it's literally everything else is effort as well. I love the sound that those make. Noise. They sound like a posh man who's been interrupted and he's not happy about it. I have no idea. You're asking the wrong person there. I don't know. I couldn't answer these questions having neither a cleavage nor a camera to show it on. Oh, that makes my eyes feel weird. Being able to see the crosshair so close up, it's like, ugh, that makes my eyes go weird. I like the effort that people go to make things like cupboards and planters and things, but you can't use them. They're like completely pointless. There's a blast furnace and a furnace, and that's supposed to be a sink, but I think it's a cauldron. I think those are supposed to be hobs for cooking. Although there's, I don't know. No, I don't watch Always Sunny. I've tried, but I think I'm the only person in the world that doesn't enjoy that show. I don't find it funny. Just not the type of comedy for me. To be honest, I don't really watch any television. So I'm not the best person to talk about television shows to. I watch YouTube and I mean, I don't know if I like Friends. It's just if it's on in the background, it won't make me want to turn over. It's like, I don't know. It's like rice. Like, I wouldn't just have a bowl of rice on its own, but it's with things I won't really care. I'm curious as to what the creatures are going to do at night time. You know, the Japanese people have rice with things. They have it with, like, it's not the main thing of the meal. What, you didn't know what Japanese people were or what rice was? You didn't know what Japanese people were? I'm not quite sure I believe you. So, are you going to attack me? Yeah, you are. Ah! Kill a sheep, kill a sheep. Ha ha ha! It's fucking staring me out. Yeah, oh look. It's a creepy moon. Hello, moon. I know that, like, up north, they're not necessarily as cultured as people from other parts of the country. But you must have known what Japanese people were. Well, that sounds like a complete failure of the school system. So this mod, this addition to the game, makes farms dangerous. That's about it. Well, I mean, I can kind of understand that because they're both kind of called Asia, depending on who you're talking to. But I mean, it takes a level of knowledge to know that that is true. To know that they're both called Asia takes a level of knowledge more than it would take to know that Japanese people exist. Well, I mean, I don't want to say that you sound like you might have some sort of learning disabilities, but you might have some sort of learning disabilities. I mean, if you've got learning disabilities, I feel bad for you, son. But, you know, no, no, not really. There's that whole thing with girls doing that stupid look on their face where they cross their eyes and stick their tongues out to make them look stupid, and it irritates the shit out of me. The Cursed Lake. Ooh, let's go to the Cursed Lake. Anime needs to stop. I am a I dislike anime quite intensely. It only influences society because people are fucking stupid. What makes this lake cursed? I want to know. Oh, look at the cursed salmon. Or is it cursed cod? Oh, they are cursed. Ah! The fish are deadly. That is uncouth. So, I mean, this isn't necessarily a bad game type. It could be quite fun, but the fact that they've built loads of houses... That must be a young person thing. I don't really know what that is. What, if a girl swears? I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I've always personally liked girls that swear as good, if not as better than me. I don't. Is that even a thing? Do people even say F instead of? Unless you're like in front of your gran and you don't want to get in trouble, there's no excuse for not just swearing. No, my ex used to make me laugh with some of the swear words she'd come out with. I think I remember we were in the car and she forgot to lift the handbrake when she put her foot on the accelerator, and she shouted "cunt bubbles." And I went, "What the fuck did you just say?" She said "cunt bubbles." And I was like, "What the fuck's a cunt bubble?" She said, "It's a precursor to a queef, innit?" Those are exact words. Oh, this is disappointing. I was expecting more. Yeah, I suppose I grew up in a household where everybody swore most of the time, so I swear quite a lot in casual conversation, so it doesn't really bother me when people swear. The only swear word that I get in trouble for saying now is cunt, and that's because nobody in my family else uses it, but I know, I'm from a generation where saying cunt isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's a good word, just in general. So what I might do is I'm going to walk I'm going to walk off the edge of the map, and then I'm going to set up a camp. Because I think this could be an interesting world to have like a survival mode in. I didn't read the end of that because it got cut off. It only showed me part of the message. You get used to saying it so much that you, and then I didn't read the rest. No, I've never been one to resort to racial slurs, especially because I grew up in South London, which is, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that that you know I went to a school where I was in the minority, being a mostly white person, um, but also it just doesn't come to mind. It's not one of those things that I am likely to say unless there is a good context for it. Um, in which case, I feel like it's somewhat more acceptable to say. It's not. I'm not going to say it in person. If you're not, that's not the right word. I'm not going to say it casually, but if I'm quoting somebody, then I'd rather say that than say specifically like the N word, because if it's a joke or if it's a funny comment that that particular person has said, saying the words the N word ruin the timing of the joke and things like that. Especially when, like, who was it? Woof. I was watching a YouTuber, it's a black guy, and he was playing a horror game with another group of YouTubers who were all white, and he was basically the only black dude there. And he was like, "Oh, there's a big, you know what word? There's a big one. There's a big one." And the other guy was like, "It's a very specific enemy type." Now, obviously, I'm not saying it in that context, but if I were to, it would be somewhat more acceptable than it would be if I was just saying it casually. It's all about context, as with most things. Well, that's a large castle. I was trying to get away from this fucking. I'm right the way down here. How's this? How big is this map? I am actually quite fucked now though, because it's dark and the moon's out, and all of the animals are now after my blood, including the chickens and the pigs and the cows and the horses and the llamas and the fucking codfish. Fuck off. Get to fuck. I've got hiccups. Brrr. Oh, there's not even a bed in here. Is that a villager? It is. Meh.
Huh?
Huh? Meh. Go away. That's kind of a nice addition of a cupboard under the stairs. You don't see that in games so much. But yeah, not one for resorting to racial slurs. I'm not PewDiePie, for fuck's sake. How does eating a whole chicken not give me full hunger bars gone? What the fuck is this? What's this? What's this? What the fuck is this? What's this? What the fuck is this? Oh, this restaurant seems to have a one-way system like most supermarkets now. Baked potato. Monsters. Monsters. If you do you watch any YouTubers? Do you partake in any online content other than Twitch? I recently discovered marbles on Twitch. I never even knew that was a thing, and it was surprisingly entertaining. Some of the presenters were a little bit annoying, but the actual thing itself was surprisingly entertaining. It was... Would watch again. I've currently been enjoying lots of people playing Phasmophobia. That's a game that I wouldn't mind playing if I could, but I can't because it's on PC. And all of my money's being saved to get a PlayStation 5. Well, I've got enough money to buy a PlayStation 5. I just can't get a PlayStation 5 because they're sold out everywhere. And they've not released the new thing of pre-orders. Otherwise, I'd be all over it. Ooh. Caves of Wonder. Oh, I've got an itchy nose. I got an itchy nose. So yeah, I'm basically gonna try and get as far away as I can from all of the pre-built parts of this map, and then I'm gonna start a survival game, I think. Damn it, press the wrong button. PlayStation VR is surprisingly good. I saw a lot of hate for it when it first came out, and I am only playing on the base PlayStation. But I found out recently, I didn't realise this. Not only does the PlayStation VR run at 60 Hz, which even some expensive PC VR headsets don't do, It's also one of the few that's got an OLED screen as well, which most of them use LCD screens, which means they can have they've got slightly better resolutions. The other ones, the regular VR screens, but OLED ones do better black colours, well, blacks and whites, and just colours in general. So these look quite vibrant and like the contrasts are good, whereas on something like the HTC Vive, because it uses a LCD screens in the VR headset, the colours are slightly washed out, and so they're not as vibrant or as, and like black shades are less black. Ooh. I'm allowed to take those. Is it dangerous in all of the water? Yes, it is dangerous in all of the water. Fuck off. You fucking lethal salmon. Tell you what, it makes fishing easy though. Oh, I'm so used to every game using L3 to do things. I wonder how dangerous fish are to you if you're in a boat. In das Boot. I must be far enough away now. I'm not even on the map, so yeah, I must be a decent fair enough away. That's a couple of sheep. Somewhat scary. So I wonder if friends can join me in this server, or if not they have to buy the add-on. Right, I'm going to start making a house. I know it's getting a bit late for that now because it's getting dark. It's getting scary outside. Right, it's officially scary now. So, go away, spider. Dagnammit. Being chased by everything. Those fish are serious. Oh, there's fucking drowned as well. I feel like this is more difficult than usual. Oh, that's how drowned are made. That is entirely expected. I'm so far away. I've done nothing. I've progressed 0 amount. Wash my hands. I wish I could teleport. What the fuck are you still doing up? It's daytime. Go away. Yeah, I'd like to do a survival in this, but I don't want to use any of this pre-built stuff. And to get far enough away in time and survive is really hard. I'm watching you, you green-eyed chicken. My green-eyed chicken, do 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 do. You, my green-eyed chicken, do 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 do. I'm growing a bit bored of this, to be honest. I might switch games. They just released that update for Ghost of Tsushima that I played for a little while the other day, but haven't played for any real length of time. Or I could just turn it off and not bother. Because that's kind of what I'm feeling, to be honest. I've been really bad for streaming this week. I usually stream a lot more, but I've just found it very hard to get the motivation. Because there's just not really been much I wanted to play. My Minecraft streams, when I play with Saf and people, are fairly popular for me anyway. For one of my streams, they're more popular than the others. I did a Skyrim VR stream recently, and that did terribly badly, which is a surprise to me, to be honest. I still haven't completed Kingdom Come Deliverance because that game is hard and I am impatient. But I should go back to that at some point. I don't think I'll do it soon though, because with Watch Dogs coming out on the 29th, I don't want to get stuck in with a long game. I saw they've released that update for Call of Duty Warzone, but I deleted Warzone and all of the add-ons and everything a few months ago, and the game's so fucking big now that it would take up my entire hard drive and take about 9 years to download. So I'm not really sure if I can be bothered to re-download all that just to play it for a few hours. I just find that kind of game makes me super stressful now. Look at these fish, they're proper militant. How do I bring up the chat thing? There's no button for it. Oh. How do I do these things? Whatever. I think I might just turn it off because I can't be bothered anymore. Well, yeah, cheers for the people who watched, the one person who came and chatted, although I highly suspect they were probably trolling or doing some sort of horrific practical joke on me, because that's how I feel about people nowadays. I don't trust them. So yeah, I'm going to turn off the stream. See you later.